It was a rainy Tuesday evening when Ethan Price, a single father of 7-year-old Lily, was walking home from the grocery store. The street was unusually quiet, the kind of quiet that makes the hair on your arms stand up. That's when he saw it, a small figure struggling in the dim light of an alley. A man's rough hand clamped around a young girl's wrist, pulling her against her will. Her muffled cries were almost swallowed by the sound of rain hitting the pavement. Ethan didn't think. He didn't weigh the risks. He didn't even check who the man was. His instincts roared louder than his thoughts. In 3 long strides, he was there. His fist connected with the stranger's jaw before a single word could escape his lips. The man crumpled to the ground, releasing the girl. She stumbled into Ethan's arms, trembling. But what Ethan didn't know, what would change everything, was that this moment, born of raw instinct, would drag him into a story far more complicated than he could imagine. Ethan's life had been defined by split-second decisions ever since Lily was born. His wife had passed away in childbirth, leaving him to navigate fatherhood alone. He had learned to juggle work, cooking, laundry, and bedtime stories while carrying the constant fear that he might fail his daughter. That night, he had just finished picking up milk and bread. His mind was on the spaghetti dinner he promised Lily. But when he saw the girl, no older than 10, being yanked into the shadows, his world tunneled into a single choice. The moment after he punched the man was a blur. The girl clung to him, shaking. Her clothes were wet and torn, and her eyes darted around like a trapped animal's. "Hey, you're safe now. I got you," Ethan whispered, trying to steady his own racing heart. The man groaned on the ground, clutching his jaw. He spat out a tooth and hissed, "You have no idea what you've done." Ethan's protective instinct flared. "Stay down," he warned, shielding the girl behind him. A passing car slowed, the driver staring, and then drove on. The rain grew heavier. "What's your name?" Ethan asked the girl gently. She hesitated. "Mia," she whispered. "Where's your family, Mia?" Her eyes filled with tears. I don't know." Ethan's stomach tightened. She was lost, or worse. He didn't want to call the police yet, not until he knew exactly what was going on. The man on the ground didn't look like a random stranger. His clothes were neat, his shoes expensive. Something about his calm anger was more unsettling than if he'd been wild and disheveled. "You'll regret this," the man muttered before stumbling to his feet and disappearing into the rain. Ethan's gut told him the night was far from over. He brought Mia home, set a blanket around her, and made her a plate of spaghetti while Lily sat beside her, chattering in her bright, innocent way. But Mia barely touched the food. Her eyes kept darting to the window. When Ethan asked again where she lived, she whispered something that made his blood run cold. "They'll find me." The next morning, the news broke, local businessman accused of human trafficking still at large. A grainy photo flashed on the screen. Ethan froze, it was the man he had punched. Mia sat on the couch, hugging her knees. She looked even smaller in the daylight. Ethan sat beside her. "That man, he's dangerous, isn't he?" She nodded. He took me from my school. I tried to run." Ethan's hands clenched. He wanted to storm out and find the man, but he knew rash action could put both Mia and Lily in danger. He called the police anonymously, giving them the location where he saw the man. But as the hours passed, Ethan couldn't shake the feeling that someone was watching the house. That night, while putting Lily to bed, he heard a noise outside. He looked through the curtains. 2 men in dark coats stood near his gate. Fear shot through him. He quickly called a friend who worked in law enforcement. "I think I'm in trouble," he whispered, giving the address. Within minutes, sirens wailed in the distance. The men outside vanished before the police arrived. When the officers took Mia's statement, she finally revealed the full story. Her parents were gone, and she'd been living with an uncle who had sold her to the man Ethan punched. She had tried to escape twice, but both times they'd found her. Until last night. Ethan promised her, in front of the officers, "They're not going to hurt you again. Not while I'm here." Over the next few weeks, Ethan worked with the police and social services to ensure Mia's safety. She was placed in protective care, but she and Lily stayed close, sisters in everything but blood. Months later, when the man was finally arrested, Ethan realized something. He had stepped into that alley as a father protecting a stranger, but he had walked out as something more, proof that one moment of courage can change a life forever. Sometimes, doing the right thing doesn't come with time to think, it comes in a single heartbeat. And in that heartbeat, you can either look away, or step forward.